It's crazy how things have changed.
Yeah.
But
Things are just efficient now.
yeah,
What did you
exactly.
make YouTube videos about?
Oh man, I was a kid.
Okay.
So for full transparency, I did a bunch of Pokemon stuff.
Hell yeah,
Yeah.
man.
And I had a blog for a while, did a lot of writing on that. That was fun. It's
That's
weird how things change though, Like, do you remember like the forums and everything?
honestly, like I it's hard for me to get into forums.
Oh yeah, me too these
Even like
days.
what's the one that everyone is on right now?
Like Reddit?
Reddit.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like it's hard for me to like just scroll it and like I get so bored of
That's
it
a
and
good
I'm just
problem, dude.
like I know. And then people always send me stuff.
Yep.
And I'm like I way prefer that. Just find it for me,
Yeah.
send it to me, I'll
Yeah.
read it. But that's how I felt back then too. I was like, these forums. There's so many forums on everything, and I'm just like, I just can't be bothered.
Well, and, like, finding them was a big thing, but, like, I still build old motorcycles, and, my first and last motorcycle I worked on, it was a '72 Honda CB 500, and the best place to find advice on that thing was this old forum, and
Mm.
it was just, like, all these guys from, like, San Francisco and all over the States, but, I mean, those posts go back to, like, the late '90s.
Holy,
Yeah, man, and there people are, like, posting the shop manuals because they used to work at a Honda dealership in, like, '82, and they just happened to have a copy, so they scanned it, and, like, it's crazy, but you gotta go looking, right? And
yeah,
the internet's a big place.
yeah. It's nice to know people who know where to look.
Yeah, it's a good way
That's
to
like,
put it.
I'm really big on asking for help.
Oh, man,
Like
dude.
I always ask for
Yep.
help. Like even like for like little like my wife always gets mad at me because I don't look for things.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I know you know where it is.
Yeah, yeah.
So why would I put 10 minutes into looking for it when I can just ask you, you're going to tell me where it is, and then,
We know what the answer is to
right.
that. She wants to see the effort.
I know, I
It's the
know.
worst.
I'm like, I don't like that.
Ugh.
But it's funny that you say Pokemon. Honestly, that's the only game I still play.
Really?
Like on my cell phone,
Yep.
Pokemon Go.
Oh, yeah,
It's the
yeah.
only game I have on my phone. And one of my, like, I played it for a while, then I stopped, and then one of my boxers
Yeah.
got me back on it, and now I'm back just
Just
addicted to
hooked,
it.
eh?
Yeah, I want them all.
It I guess that is a tagline, right? Man, okay, on the note of boxers though and video games, this is a weird thing I've noticed. Like when I was doing MMA and stuff, the amount of guys I know that played RuneScape was
Mm.
crazy. And I got talking to one of the guys because like just big old son of a bitch, right? Real tough guy. And I watched him, we were sitting between rounds and I look over and he's sitting there fishing. And I'm like, first off, how long you been playing for? Secondly, what the hell? Like,
Yeah.
and we got talking about it, and there's a weird thing there because, like, a lot of video games, right? It's all instant gratification, like boom, boom, look at all the colors, like Call of Duty and all that, right? But man, RuneScape's such a slow burn, and it's funny. I started asking all these guys about it, and they're like, "Well, I like to see the progress because it's slow, it's
Mm.
incremental." Man, it's no different than like, how many doubles can you do?
Right.
Like, "Oh, I can do 50." Next week, maybe you can do 55. 5 isn't a lot, but it's better than last week, and you just that slow improvement, it's cool. But
I like now that you say that, I feel like you would find that a lot with jujitsu people too.
oh, yeah?
Because just like that slow progress,
Yeah.
and they're all like gamer,
Yeah,
those gamer minds,
yeah.
that like
Grinding
that.
it out.
Yeah, and just like they can wait. They can wait to
Yeah.
like they know what it takes. They
Well, and it's funny too, I don't know what it is about, like, jujitsu that attracts that kind of person in particular, but, like, I'm sure you've seen it boxing because 'cause I've like, over 15 years, I've seen it a bunch, you get some guy come in, right? They're like, "Oh, I'm tough, I've been in a lot of fights." 9 times out of 10, whoever I was training at the time was like, "Okay, throw on some pads, let's go in." And then, they do a quick spar, never see him again
yeah,
because it's hard work.
yeah,
And, man, like, no matter how big a fish you are, there's a bigger fish.
yeah.
But
Or like just like a more technical fish.
yeah.
you know?
Mm,
Because I said this
sneaky
a
fish.
couple times on my podcast, but like when people first come in and want to spar, I always put them up with a kid.
Oh, yeah.
Like a 13, 14, 15-year-old who has like 10 fights, and it's like
That'll humble you.
this kid's gonna beat you up.
Oh, yeah.
And then they do.
And not a little bit. Like,
No.
whoop ya.
Like and like quite effortlessly.
Yep.
You know, you're now tired, just breathing heavy, exhausted, and you're getting beat up by a kid now. And now you're like in the fight or flight,
Yep.
and you don't have enough energy to fight anymore.
Oh,
So
yeah,
now you're
gassed
running
from a
from a
13-year-old.
child.
Yeah, exactly.
And it just like puts everything into perspective of like, this isn't a fight. This isn't like,
Yeah.
it is a fight, but it's like, this isn't the street. This isn't
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
this is like, there's more to this.
Like,
It's like technical. It's,
100%, man.
yeah.
I mean, it's that old, like, how many kindergartners can you beat in a fight? You know, like, "Ha that's funny," but, like, if you street rules are one thing, because like you said, there's nothing, everything's a target, you go for it, right? Like, but in the ring, man, a 13-year-old to 10 fights, that's a dangerous
That's
opponent.
scary.
Yeah.
And how kids are built now,
Oh,
that 13-year-old could look like he's 19.
100%, dude. Reminds me of some of the kids back home, like, growing up, it's just, like, all the farmer kids, right? Like, that was something we learned, pretty quick, was, you gotta be careful who you pick on,
Right.
because the little guy might just be dumb strong.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Like
Like,
that wiry strength.
yeah, like, you don't get big muscles by lifting tires all the time, but
Mm.
it adds up, and,
Yeah.
like, man, if you've ever sat there and thrown bales into the back of a trailer for God knows how long, it's the worst. The worst.
I
But
worked on a farm for one summer.
yep,
It was the worst summer of my life. I'm gonna be honest with you.
that's fair.
I was like, I'm not meant for this.
Oh, yeah, it's such a different life, man. I'm lucky, like, I grew up farm adjacent is always how I like to say, 'cause we had cattle,
Mm.
but, my fam
Farm adjacent.
well, because I lived in town, I went to school in town, but we'd go out to the farm to do things, right? I wasn't like, "Okay, it's 5 AM, get up, we're doing the chores," like, so I was lucky that way. But, man, yeah, it's just not, like, even it's funny actually, Buddy and I were talking about this, during our recent hunting trip about how we're really spoiled these days. A lot of people forget how, difficult life actually is.
Mm.
And when you distill away, like, all the creature comforts and whatnot, I think it's Jack London wrote a short story, I think it's just called Cold. And it's about a guy that's about 30 pages long, he's trying to get to Whitehorse, if memory serves me correct, and basically he gets caught in this blizzard, and he's trying to light a fire. And it's one of those things, if you've ever been really cold, like really, really cold, that story is scary. And it's one of those things, like, I got my first buck a couple weekends ago, and I was dug into the side of this hill, and that was the first time I've ever experienced that level of cold. And it's funny because the only thing, like, I'm looking at this painting over here, and the thing that comes to mind is like the Spirit Quest, right? Where like you're in there, like, I swear to God, man, I lost hours, like, just so cold, and there's nothing. It's just the tree line, the snow coming down, no one's talking, your phone's not going off, there's no zip, just you and your thoughts, and that'll break you. Like, honestly, it's really something to see, and, going, like, compounding off of that, like, even hiking, we'll go through Nesbitt Forest, beautiful, beautiful place. You'll do, like, 20, 30K just walking, and, it's easy until, like, the last 5, and you're like, "What have I
Right.
signed up for?" But, I don't know, yeah, I don't know. It's very neat, but,
Yeah.
we're really spoiled these days, right? But
Yeah. Somebody, I heard a quote, and I don't know it exactly, but like essentially what it was saying is like it was like a mental health quote
Mhm.
where it was uh like we have it so good that we are like, essentially it said like that we can be depressed.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
like the Western world has the highest suicide rate.
Yep,
That's how good we have it.
yep.
Whereas other countries don't have time to be depressed. They just have to figure it out, and they're just like,
That's an interesting thought,
yeah.
actually.
And I think
Huh.
about that so often that it's like why do we have so much depression when we have it so easy?
But, I mean, it goes back to, in my opinion anyway, like, if we have it so easy, I'll back this up. Maslow's hierarchy of needs, right? Like food, shelter, like blah, blah, blah. As you go up, as this level's fulfilled, we can deal with this one, so on and so forth. I think personally, the reason we're seeing so many of these struggles. You know, addiction, depression, ADHD is massively on the rise. Recent studies, it's like an 80% uptick in young boys, and I think like I can't even remember in women, it's a massive uptick. But women also haven't been tested because traditionally ADHD was seen as a male thing. You know,
Mm,
young boys get this, girls don't. They're just strange, or like, oh, maybe they're a little much, or like whatever. But then kids, it was like young boys. I mean, it's like give them Ritalin, like right away. Let's
right.
just jump right to it. But personally, I think what you said is right. It's so good. There's no struggle, there's no hardship. And I think that's what makes a person. You know, if you wake up every day, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with this because there's lots of people out there who do it and live happy, fulfilling lives. But, you know, you find your job, you graduate high school, you go to university, you get your degree, you go into a job, you work your way up through the corporate ladder. That's 30 years. You have the kids, you get the car, you buy the house, you're done. It's just day in, day out, the same, 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 same. And I'm not saying there's no struggles, but in the modern world, that's a pretty safe life.
Mm,
You know, you have a roof over your head, you got food, you got family. Some people do anyway. And that's extremely fulfilling. And I can't help but think that we as people look for the struggle. Because I mean, up until recently, it always has been. Hell, even 100 years ago, like in the 20s, right? Not good. Anything before that, like a lot of times you're lucky to see 50. Like that's
right.
crazy. Now we got people living to like 110.
Yeah.
It's nuts. So I don't know. That's a very interesting thought, and I wonder if there isn't something warranted there. Because I mean, second world and third world. I mean, also causation is not correlation, right? Because if medical help isn't widely available, you don't have a bunch of trained doctors, you're probably not diagnosing for depression, right? It's not like the guys in
Right,
the
very true.
slums of Delhi is like, "I should probably see a doctor. I think I'm kinda sad." Like,
Right.
that's not an option for him, right? So or her. But, I don't know, that is an interesting thought though, because yeah, man, it's
Do you feel it? Do you think maybe because as you were sharing, that's I was thinking like maybe it's like purpose driven. Like we have it so good, and then our life becomes so like
yeah,
mundane that we lose what our purpose is. Whereas like when you're maybe in a third world country, like everything you're doing is so important for survival.
yeah,
Now everything's part of your purpose, you know?
I s
Or
yeah,
other countries too where like I feel like it's more laid back.
mm,
Like, not everything's revolves around money all the time,
yep,
where like it is here. So it's like you're more family oriented, you're
yep,
more friends, you're more like you have more time to like
be,
love things
yeah, just
and
be,
be and then that gives you
mm,
purpose, you know, like when you have like a family like and even us, like it's not like I feel like if you have 10 friends,
yep,
probably 5 of them are close with their family, 5 of them aren't. You know,
yep,
it's like it's hit or
100%.
miss
Yeah.
because like we push our kids out after you start your own life and like we're big on whereas I feel like other cultures like hang on and like
Oh,
you build a
man.
legacy and everything like I think that would be more purposeful how that's set up
Well,
too,
I
you know?
agree with you completely, and this is like that classic, individualistic society versus a collectivist society thing, right? Like, I got a lot of friends from India, and, you know, buddy of mine, what I love him to death, and his mom, only met her a couple of times, and, like, that was the whole thing. "When are you gonna get a wife? When are we" like, "Oh, what if we need to be looked after?" And da 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 da, and another friend of mine, Brown Deep, great guy, and the family is the person almost. I don't know how else to
Mm,
explain it that way, right? But like you said, that there's a lot of purpose there. Mom's sick. I need to look after her.
right.
Where I find here, it's like mom's getting old. I guess I don't know. Do we start looking at old folks' homes or whatever? Because I still have to deal with my stuff.
Right.
Your things almost always, and I mean North American society anyway. And I say your broadly, but whatever you got going on almost always takes precedence over whatever else is going on. I don't think that's a bad thing, but at the same time, purpose, I feel like is something a lot of people are lacking these days.
Mhm.
I mean, for myself, like I'm a huge proponent for therapy. I
Right.
talk about therapy. I love talking about therapy. I always tell people like, "Oh no, sorry, I can't go. I have a therapy appointment." Try to be open about it because then maybe someone will go, "How is therapy?"
Yeah, yeah,
Because
yeah.
no, it's not a comfortable conversation for a lot of
Right.
people, and that's something I've been working on in therapy for years. Is purpose. Like,
Mm,
what brings you joy? What's going to, you know, push you past. And one of the few things that I've can give social media is it often drops lots of little nuggets of wisdom in my lap. And one I saw the other day is there's only two people you have to impress at the end of the day: your 8-year-old self and the 80-year-old self, because you need to make sure that that 8-year-old in you is having fun. It's exploring new things, new ideas, is playing, is out there, and life's enjoyable because life is to be lived. And the 80-year-old version of you is, did you make an impact? Did you leave a legacy? Were you loved? Were you feared? Because I mean, at the end of the day, if you don't have any enemies, you didn't stand for anything, right? And like that kind of duality. And that's just like a very interesting thing because to tie it all up, I mean, that's what I'm seeing in our culture, right? Like the only battle you have is against yourself, and like be better every day, and so on and so forth, and chase your goals and get that bag. But it's not the same for a lot of people, for a lot of cultures. It's
Right.
very different. And instead of lifting yourself up, you're lifting everyone up, which
Mhm.
that's the one thing I wish we could change, like collectively as a society. Because
Yeah.
man, a lot of people get left behind, and it just sucks to see.
Mhm.
But
Yeah, yeah, that's, it's a tough balance. It's a because like, even when I think of, like, our economy and our society and how it runs, like, I I'm not very political,
mm,
like, whatever. But, like, I like capitalism, and
it's kind of sweet.
I like socialism,
Yep,
like, I like them both,
yep.
and, like, I honestly like how like, what Bernie talks about,
Oh, 100%,
how,
man.
like, you can have them both.
Yes.
You can have, like, social programs,
Yep,
you can have capitalism, but we don't need billionaires. Let's keep it at millionaires,
yep,
and, like, that makes sense. So it's like now you have something to, like, drive yourself if you're driven by that,
yep.
but you don't have to be if you don't want to be, and everyone's taken care of. And I just like that because I don't think
Oh, yeah, man.
I'm not like this. What I don't like about politics is like you're evil, I'm not.
Oh, I hate it.
That mentality.
Hate it, man.
It's like that's so odd.
I
I think everyone's good. In
Yep,
my heart, I believe everyone's
yeah.
good. Not obviously everyone,
Well, there are some
There's
real
the
mean
top
people out there.
of everything
Yep,
where the worst person gets to,
yep,
But like
100%.
everybody who's on the left wants good
Yeah,
for everyone, and everyone on the right wants good for everyone. They just have different mindsets on what good is
yep. That's a
and how
great
to
way to
go
put it.
about it,
Mhm.
And it's like let's just find some commonalities and like let's figure this out. Not like it's just odd. It's odd. Politics is odd to me.
Man, well, and I understand, but, like, this is something, like, I'm honestly pretty passionate about. It's, like, my end goal in life. I really wanna get into politics because a couple of years ago, I went to budget. I had the opportunity to go and sit in, the provincial legislature and watch that all happen, and I left feeling actually kinda disgusted. Like, genuinely. We had teachers out there. I'm walking into the building. I'm always in a suit. I like wearing a suit. I
Yeah.
look
You
nice.
always
I
look
feel
sharp,
nice.
man. Every
Thank
time I
you.
see you, you're the sharpest guy in the
And
room, man.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
There was, just quick on that, man, there's 2 things I was told, pretty young, and it was, look good, feel good, do good.
Mhm.
That's simple. When you look in the mirror and you look like someone who can get things done, you feel like someone who can get things done. And then the other one I heard forever ago too was, "Don't let anyone forget that they ever met you," which I thought's
Mm.
funny. Because man, it's being the guy in the suit all the time, but it's so rare that people aren't like, "Hey, I know you,"
Yeah.
like, at the end of the day. Um, but anyway, that's an
Okay,
aside.
before we get on this
Yep,
budget story,
yeah.
because we're 20 minutes in,
Oh, man.
but
We're
like
we're 20
I
minutes
know,
in?
man, it goes by fast.
That's crazy.
But I want you to introduce yourself
Oh,
and
yeah.
just like because we just got started talking and then I totally forgot. So I just want you to introduce yourself, where you're from, and kind of what you're about, and then we'll get into this budget story.
Okay, okay. My name's Henry Livermore. I grew up in Nipawin, live in Saskatoon. I've been working in the insurance industry for basically feels like ever at this point in my life. That's what I do for money, for fun. I'm a big writer, boxer, traveler. Basically, I'll do anything and get my hands on. That's one of the big things that it's always interested me in life is life, you know? I've skied, I've snowboarded, ate all sorts of food, been to all sorts of places, met all sorts of people, and it's just my favorite thing, you know?
Yeah. And
So
honestly, since I've known you, like that's like, you've been one of the like you're very interesting to me because like I feel like you're very aware of things. Like you're very aware. Like it's like you seem very wise.
oh,
You know,
thanks. I
like
appreciate that.
you see things, you analyze things, you reflect on things. So like when you speak and when we talk, I know that it's not like whether you're right or wrong,
Yeah.
you've thought about it. And
And
it's like coming from that. And I like that.
well, and I really appreciate that. And, honestly, for myself, on that exact note, the 2 things that I've tried my best in life to avoid, I guess there's 3, is to not say no to much. I've had a lot of crazy experiences by just saying, "You know what? Sure, let's go." You know, I went dog sledding in the Yukon once,
Nice.
just because I ran into a guy that was friends with my grandfather at a Blues on White in Edmonton. I was on my way to Jasper to go skiing, which that trip, I had never skied before. I booked an 8-hour private lesson. Don't do that. If you're listening to this and you wanna learn skiing, don't book 8 hours. It will kill you. I at the end of that day, man, I was coming down the hill and there's this group of kids coming out in front of me, and my instructor was yelling, "Stop, stop," and I literally couldn't bend my legs in, and so I just went, "Ah, the hell with it." Just threw myself down. One ski's up in the tree, I had a pole go over, almost hit someone, slid right up to these kids. Oh, brutal. Anyway, um, but no, don't say no to things. Put yourself out there, and don't be afraid of being wrong.
Right.
Like I'm pretty quick to throw my 2 cents in, but I'm also pretty quick to go, ah, that was actually really stupid.
Yeah.
You know, like no idea is a bad idea until it's tested.
Hmm.
And sometimes once it's tested, you're like, that was dumb.
Yeah.
I'm lucky
Yeah.
to be alive. You know, like been there a few times, but
Yeah, I think that's what I noticed about you because I feel the same way about myself.
mm,
I say yes to a lot of things. Like you said, when you first came in here, you seem like you have your hand in a lot of things.
yeah,
It's because I can't say no.
yeah,
I'm always like, you know what? I should focus on this business and just put everything, go all in. And someone's like, hey, you want to do this? I'm like, oh yeah,
yeah.
let's
That
do
sounds
that.
cool.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
I
like
get it.
every time. And me too. Like I just don't take myself too seriously.
That's a good
So
way to
like
put it.
I'm like I know I have a lot of information in my head,
Yep.
but I also understand that I haven't like put it together fully yet. So sometimes I say stuff and they're like, "Well, that's wrong because of this," and I'm like, "Yeah,
Yeah,
should never have said that."
yeah,
Now that I think about it,
yeah, oh, man, but it's such a humbling moment, and, like, it's that old phrase, right? You know, "If you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room."
right?
Like, and that's my best, like, not my best, my favorite thing when talking with people and, you know, waxing poetic, and then someone hits you with something and, like, oh, and you just gotta hum and haw on it. Like, recently, I had someone tell me that being with a narcissist is like trying to explain what the color 9 smells like.
Mm,
And man, that's been stuck in my head for the past couple of months where it's like, "Oh, yeah, no, that makes no sense, but that's kind of the point," you know? And then, like, you're slowly mulling these ideas over and on that note too, man, you gotta be careful what you say to people. You just never know what's gonna stick, you know? It's so
yeah,
important. But
yeah. Eh, That's it's interesting too, like kind of on a deeper level of that, because I think about because like I know I'm a good person,
yeah,
you know, and like I know a lot of people and a lot of good people that do things for me because I do that for
yeah,
them, and we like
little quid pro quo.
and it's just like, but there is people that I'm like, I wonder how many people have like met me briefly,
Mhm.
or like met me on a bad day, or like I maybe said something and or like talked down to them
Yep,
jokingly, and now they just look at me through this lens
yep,
of that guy's a piece of shit.
100%.
And he probably got that because he ripped someone, you know?
Oh, I
And,
know
like,
exactly what
now
you
they
mean.
have, like, this one little lens of
Yep.
who I am, and I'm like, I bet you that happens because how many people I meet, like, it's bound to happen
Oh,
without even me being aware of it,
yep.
and how many people out there look at me through this, like, shitty lens of, like, this one experience we had or maybe a couple, or
Yep.
maybe from high school. And it's like, I wonder how often that happens. And then I started thinking of like the people I know, not that like maybe rub me the wrong way. And I'm like, I wonder who they actually are.
Yeah.
Cause I just see them through this little window.
That's a man, that's a good point. Because, like you said, you can just have an off day. Everyone
Right.
has an off day. Like, man, I never had road rage until fairly recently. And now I'm just like, "Oh my god, pull into the intersection. For the love of God, the light's green. We can both go. We can both go. You can't just sit here, you know?" And it used to be like, "Oh, maybe they're new drivers," or like,
Right.
"Oh, like, that guy's driving like an asshole, but maybe his wife's in labor or something." Like, just very, and I don't know what changed, but that's exactly it, where it's like, people have things going on,
Mhm.
and who you think you are and what you're comfortable with in your skin, all this that you've built up as your identity is only ever probably going to be seen full by maybe one person.
Right.
Like, if you're lucky enough to find someone that's with you for life.
Mhm.
Um, or like in my case, I've got a buddy from high school, and like, frankly speaking, I don't know if I should say this on a podcast that's gonna be public, but he's the kind of guy where, like, if you needed to, he'd be like, "Hey, I got shovels in the trunk." Like, and he'd be like, "All right, where am I meeting you?" Like,
I think everyone has a friend like that.
and that's
I
good.
think so, yeah.
We all need that. And do you know what I will say too, though, just on this note, I've been really lucky in my life to have met so many wonderful people and both have them be there for me and be there for them. But something that I've realized over the past couple of years is that's not a universal experience, like, not even
Mm.
close. Um, People reaching out in the dead of night and just being like, "Hey, man, like, are you up? Can you talk to you?" Yeah, yeah, I'll pick up the phone. But that's me. And, like, you said everybody's got at least one of those. I don't even know if they do anymore. It's such a shame. And it's
Yeah.
like we're so close but so far apart. Like, I could tell you what, like, some of my friends from high school I haven't spoke to in 8 years had for supper last night because they
Right.
posted on Facebook, but I haven't talked to them in a decade,
Mm.
right? Like, it's strange. Modern society is really weird that way. Like, I live in an apartment building. I can't even tell you the names of half the people that live in that place, and we're literally feet apart, you know?
It's kinda set up to just stay in your house.
Yeah, really. Like, I'd almost wanna know how many people actually know their neighbors, like,
Mm.
have had supper with them, had a bite to eat, and, actually, I think this is a pretty good segue, like, into that, the politics that we were talking about because, left, right, center, wherever you sit, I think the thing that everyone needs to remember these days is we collectively have way more in common with each other than we do with anyone making a decision at this point. Um, and like, there was a guy I knew, he moved here from Ghana with his brother. I was living on Broadway at the time. He was a couple streets up, and I just happened to run into him. We got talking. He's like, "Oh, I love Canada," and blah blah blah. And like, this guy's from Ghana. I don't know anything. I couldn't even point to Ghana on a map until, well, I met them. And, yeah, we got talking, and you know what? At the end of the day, he wants his story to be heard. He wants to make friends. He wants to have some good food, and he wants to have a good time. That's pretty universal, right?
Yeah.
And we get talking, and there's some things that he said I didn't agree with over the years, and some things I said he probably didn't agree with, but still great friends,
Right.
you know? And I think that's something we're losing these days, where I can say something that offends a person, upsets them, whatever. And instead of having a dialogue about it, it's just like, no, we're going to shut it down. Like you said, it's good versus evil at this
Mhm.
point. And to be completely clear, I do think there is still a place for that kind of rhetoric.
Right.
Like, this huge upswing of like Nazis coming back. Nazis?
Yeah,
We
yeah,
didn't
yeah.
learn the lesson the first time.
Yeah, yeah.
Are you serious? But
Yeah.
I don't know. It's wild times. Like, I don't know, like, that whole capitalism versus socialism, it's everything versus everything. Like,
Yeah.
we can't
It's
nothing
this
seems to
or this.
coexist. Yeah,
This
exactly.
or this.
This or this. Um, which is wild because, like, the happiest places in the world, if memory serves me correct, it's like the, oh my gosh, like Denmark, Norway,
Yeah.
doesn't matter. But those countries, right? And if you look into it, like, their social programs are phenomenal.
Right.
Like, if you have a kid, like, you take time off, and you take the time off you need.
And I think they're run like how Bernie wants to run.
Yeah.
Like, I think what he talks about is how those countries are run.
Oh,
It's like
100%.
socialism based,
Yep.
but with capitalism behind it, kind of thing.
This is a small
I
thing.
could be completely wrong, by the way.
This
But
entire conversation needs to be
yeah,
fact checked
I
because,
know.
frankly, I just say it with confidence. I don't know if I'm right. But you're just
Yeah.
living a pipe dream. Like, yeah, Norway's pretty great,
Yeah.
actually. Norway's the
North
saddest country.
Korea
Yeah,
and
yeah. I think they got it pretty good up there in the Koreas.
yeah,
Was it 1 or 2?
one or two.
Ay, ay. But the thing that actually really drives me nuts in the whole millionaire billionaire conversation is Rockefeller. Do you know the whole Rockefeller tax bracket? Have you heard about this?
No.
The guy made more money than God, basically. He had like a 96% tax bracket. They made him his own tax bracket because
Mm.
he was like, well, basically responsible for the GDP of America back in the day, right? Definitely fact check this. I'm probably getting some of this wrong. But the fact of the matter is, the man made a ton of money and they taxed the hell out of him. And guess what? He still had a ton of money. He still lived phenomenally. And that single man was responsible for a ton of the infrastructure in the US.
Mm.
He was responsible for schools, hospitals, railways, like, because he just gave away a ton of his money. I don't know about like Bezos and I was gonna say Gates, but Gates is working on eliminating malaria, which is a pretty big deal.
Right.
But like, the Musks and Alibaba, I can't think of Jack Ma, and so on and so forth. Like, you're telling me you have more money than some countries, and you don't wanna be known as the person that I don't know. I was gonna say end world hunger, but that's a very complicated and extremely difficult situation, and that's a whole different bag of worms, but, like, you don't wanna just fix every road in the US and just be
Yeah.
the guy like, "Oh, no, how much money do you need? You want $1 billion? Here's $1 billion, just fix it." Like, that's crazy. That's an everlasting legacy.
Right.
Um, and I think at the end of the day, maybe that's something that actually kinda keeps me up at night. Um I can't remember where I heard it, but it was like the final scorecard for your life is how many people show up to your funeral.
Mm.
And, um, that catches me. I always go to the funeral, when someone passed away, even if they're a dick, because the funeral's not for the person, it's for everyone else. And it's funny though, because everyone always has good things to say other than the people that like were really, caught up in whatever bullshit that person put them through. Um, but both being lucky and unfortunate enough to attend a lot of funerals in my life, um, one that really caught me was a friend of mine, Cade Brackman. He died in an industrial accident in Martinsville, and if memory serves me correct, he was 19 at the time, 18, and at his funeral, and this is stuck with me all through the years. I was walking around saying hi to people and all the rest, and the amount of times I would or someone would go, "Oh, you're so and so," or someone would say, "Oh, you're Henry." Kate always talks so highly of you. And walking around that room, it was like, man, this goes back to what we are talking about careful what you say to people, and if you can lift them up because it
Mhm.
sticks. Like just sitting there and being like, this young man impacted so many people, and I don't know if he ever said a bad word about anyone.
Right.
Like, and that's like, it's hard. That's a hard way to live. That's a very hard way to live. Because it's so easy to think of the negative, to get caught up in all the nonsense in the day to day. But man, it's impressive when you see someone talk the talk and walk the walk, right?
Mhm.
Like, anyway, that's it. Then we'll talk about a tangent.
That's good though. It's nice to like I try and I try to tell I had a business mentor
Mm,
who was like he was there there were a couple, they were in our life for so long.
mm,
Uh but one of the things he really drilled into me and I try and drill into other people is like just find a compliment.
mm,
Like get good at complimenting. Like people dress how they dress
yeah,
because they want to be noticed.
yeah,
They wear whatever brand because they want whatever their shoes are,
mhm,
whatever they if they're talking about something or if they're doing something, they want to be known for being good at like
yeah,
it's so easy to find a compliment.
yep,
If they're wearing jewelry, like whatever they're wearing it because they like it or they love it or there's a reason And people don't remember what you say, but they will remember how you make them feel.
Yes, absolutely,
So when
man.
they leave or you leave, they're gonna remember that warmth or that good feeling, and they're not gonna forget you.
100%.
And like I think about that. So
Hmm,
I'm like, that's where I just got really good at is like finding the compliment, you know, and then finding a commonality second,
yep.
you know.
I think that's a lot of charisma right there. I mean, I had a buddy, he's, very introverted. He doesn't like talking to people. So, how do you do it? Like, what how do I learn to talk to people? It's like, well, for the next little bit, man, like when you're at the grocery store, because I wear a watch, he doesn't. Just walk up to someone and be like, "Hey, my phone died. Do you have the time?" They'll be
Mm,
like, "Oh, it's 6:15." And you just say, "Okay, thank you." And you walk away. Because, it's little steps. It's like
right,
boxing's a funny example. You don't just start throwing shovel hooks. Like,
right.
no, you
Yeah,
gotta
yeah,
learn how to
yeah.
do jabs, right? Like, where's your stance, right? Okay, so you're asking people for the time. That's great. And the other thing I always say too, it's a funny one, but especially for guys that are like, "Ah, girls are scary. I don't know how to talk to women. Oh my god." Well, if you see a girl and you're like, "Oh, wow, she's really pretty," walk up and say, "Hey, I don't really wanna waste your time or anything. I really like that skirt. I really like your jacket. Just wanted to say that. Have a good day." Like, man, I was in Walmart the other day and there was a guy and he had these really cool boots on. And I'm just like, "Hey, buddy, sorry, I know, like, you're probably doing your own thing, but, like, those are sick."
Mhm,
I swear to God, that put him on cloud 9. He was just big smile. It's like, "Thanks, man." And then right away we have a conversation because
mhm.
who doesn't like a compliment for one?
Right,
And two,
exactly.
you've been seen. Like, and I think that's I never used to get that phrase, like, "Oh, I see you." Like, I was like, what does that mean?" Like, of course you see me. You're not blind. Like, I'm thinking a little too literally
Yeah,
because, like, man, yeah, like you said, earlier, when you recognize someone for their worth, and
mhm,
maybe not even their worth, that might even be too far, but just recognize them for what they're portraying might be a better way to put it.
yeah, because 'cause
Like,
they're doing it for something,
absolutely,
you
man.
know?
Like,
Even if it's not like like me, like, I wear hoodies and sweats most of the time, but it's for a reason. It's because 'cause I'm coming from the gym, it's
yep,
because 'cause I'm usually coaching boxing, it's because 'cause I just need to like, I'm never doing things where I should be in, like, fitted pants,
yeah, I get you.
you know? So it's like, there's a reason for everything.
Yeah,
And it's like, just find it. Find the reason, even if it's, like, not your style or your necessarily but and it does get easier. Like you
it
said, you go
does.
and you start these baby steps.
Yep.
It's just like it's just like driving. It's like it seems, like, intense at first,
Oh yeah, man.
but then after a while, you're leaning back, you're just chilling.
Driving's a funny one. That's actually really funny you brought that up because when I was getting my license back when I was 16 to 15, the first time I ever drove on the highway, my foot shook so bad. I couldn't get up to 100K. I got up to about 70 and I'm just vibrating. And my driver's ed instructor, like, we pulled over and he had to drive the car back.
Yeah.
And, like, my grandfather is 14 and he's like, "We're taking the truck around the block." I'm like, "We're what?" Like, I don't know what it was. It scared the hell out of me. And I think, and this is gonna sound maybe a little pretentious, but, like, I always think of, like, the responsibility and driving's, like, one of the weird ones to me. It's like, yeah, we just, like, hand out licenses in Saskatchewan,
Mm,
because like, you frankly need to be able to drive here. But, like, man, you can do a lot of damage with a car, you
definitely.
know?
Yeah.
Like, and, it's a crazy, crazy thought, but anyway, that's an aside. But, I mean, hell, even running, right? Like, you might only be able to jog for a couple minutes, you're walking your 5K the first time, most of it, and then it gets easier. Everything gets easier with practice. I honestly, I compare almost everything to muscles just
Mm,
because just work at it, work at
right.
it, work at it. I mean, when we sat down, are you nervous? Yeah, a little bit, but, like, now we're just bullshitting, and this is
Yeah.
fun,
Yeah, it goes away.
It does,
Yeah.
absolutely. But,
It's, everyone honestly, except for, like, people who are, like, public speakers,
yeah.
everyone else is nervous when they get here.
Oh, really?
Within 5 minutes, they're not.
Yeah.
It's just like it's a people ask me different things, like, "What are the questions you're gonna ask?" They ask me, "Can you send me the or
Oh.
what are some topics?" I'm like, "I don't
Yeah,
like, we're gonna figure this out together."
yeah.
Or some people too, they want me to, like, do research, like people who are maybe in the public eye, and I'm
Yeah.
like, no, I'm gonna
We'll figure it out together.
I'm gonna get to know you in
Yep.
person. This is gonna be my research,
Yeah.
talking to you, and I try and tell people too, like I don't actually really care what you do,
Yeah.
but I do care about why you do it. So I want to
Ooh,
figure that out.
I like that a lot. Um, yeah, man, that's a great way to put it
Hmm.
because, what's Viktor Frankl's thing? Someone who has a why can deal with any what, I'm pretty sure is
Mm.
how it goes.
That's the Man's Search for
Yeah,
Meaning. Yeah,
yeah. I've given that book to probably 40 people.
I have not read it yet,
If
but it's
read
on
that
my
book.
bookshelf.
I should have brought that.
I got
Oh,
it.
wait, yeah, you
I
know, never
got it,
mind.
man.
You
I got
understand,
it.
yeah.
Yeah, you need two obviously
Yeah,
because you haven't
exactly.
read it yet.
Yeah. Put one in the car, one at home, one in the office, one in the bathroom. You'll get it done eventually.
It's I'm gonna read it. I'm gonna read it.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
Uh, it is funny though, because when I was a kid, I read a lot, and I feel like this is something that a lot of people could relate to. And I got older and I stopped. And the piece of advice actually I got not that long ago, a year or two ago, is stop with all this fucking self-help and like, oh, reading has to be to learn. Like,
Mm,
I'm this is gonna make me sound like the most interesting person on earth, but I'm reading The Theory of Basic Economics right now. Big old textbook sitting on my coffee table
wild.
because, like, I wanna get into politics and I wanna be able to actually hold a conversation because at the end of the day, I don't need to know the ins and outs of, trade agreements and everything else, but
Mm.
I have to actually have an idea of what the hell's going on, right? And let me tell you, if that's all you're reading, you'll never wanna read. It's
Right,
like
right, right.
going to the gym and just, like, every day's leg day. For me, that's fine, I don't mind doing legs, but some people would sooner kill themselves, you know?
Yeah,
Like, let's
yeah,
be honest.
yeah.
So, I started carrying around little paperbacks and, like, the James Bond novels, I can literally fit one in my back
Mm,
pocket. You get 10 minutes, you're sitting at the bar waiting for a buddy to come in or whatever, just pick away at that, and then it's like, I'm actually excited to read because I wanna know what happens next, you know? And it's weird, it's like the going back to that 8 and 80-year-old version of you that you have to impress. I think we all forgot how to have fun,
mm,
just, like, screw around. Um, I don't know, it's a funny thing, like, not everything has to be super purpose driven, you
yeah.
know? It's
And
tr
so, like, I think I'm the opposite
Oh,
because I used to read
mhm,
stories. Like
yep.
when I was in high school, like Stephen King,
Oh, I love Stephen King,
Dean
man.
Koontz,
Yep.
and then like Harry Potter,
Oh,
like
yeah, the classics.
yeah,
Yeah,
Lord of
both the
the
cla yeah.
Rings. Like I used to just read, and then I didn't read till I was maybe like 27, 28.
Yep.
I started reading again. But now I need to be learning something.
Mm,
It's like if I'm reading a story, I feel like I should be learning something. And it's almost like to a fault.
hmm.
'Cause like the only time I can read a story is if there's learning in the story. Like The Alchemist
Oh,
or
I
something like
love The
that. Yeah.
Alchemist,
So
man.
it's like a story but with purpose, you know?
Right.
There's another one called The Go Giver. It's like a story, but it's like a lot of lessons
Okay.
on being a good giver,
Mhm.
like, you have to be a good receiver to be a good giver,
Mm.
like, things but now it's just like and same with my audio like, I cannot listen to music anymore. I
Really?
need to be listening to a podcast. Like, it's so
That's
strange.
interesting.
It's like if I'm in my car, even when I'm training boxing, if I have my headphones on, I'm listening to a podcast.
Man, the only thing we're the same on there is when I'm skipping. So I'm listening to music, my problem is, like, I'll get caught up in the beat, and then it's like I wanna start doing
Oh,
things, and
yeah,
then,
yeah, yeah.
like, back foot or whatever. But if I put on a podcast or something, because I don't know about you, but, there's a couple new guys training with us these days. It's like, "Man, I don't know how you're doing, like, those doubles and stuff." I'm like, "Just don't think about it." That's the number one trick to skipping.
Mhm.
Don't look at your feet, and don't think about what you're doing, and it'll go well. And for me, like, if I'm listening to a podcast, yeah, just, like, I go somewhere else basically and just,
Right.
10 minutes is pretty easy when you're really intrigued in a conversation, a story, whatever. Um, but to double back though, I kinda wanna challenge that idea a little bit because Lord of the Rings is a perfect example of this. If there has to be learning in the story, like a fable's a fable for a reason, right? And like Aesop fable. Anyway, that's aside. But like Lord of the Rings might be one of the best examples of positive masculinity there is. right? Like, look at the way Aragorn treats the Fellowship, the way he, he stands before his people, the examples of leadership and all that. And really, at the end of the day, I that's why I love writing so much. That's why I love stories, is because you can put so much into it. Like, um, one of my examples, again, to sound very interesting, is Dostoevsky, like The Brothers Karamazov or Crime and Punishment. Crime and Punishment's great, pretty dry, but like that gets into the human condition. Like what is it to be evil, and so on and so forth. Albert Camus' The Stranger, like guy kills a guy just kind of because, and it's like he just feels nothing towards the world, and it's an exploration of that. And I mean, that is philosophy wrapped up in a story, and that might be a better example of what you're talking about with, like, The Alchemist, The Go-Getter, and some of those other more traditional, like, "We're gonna teach you something along with this?"
Right.
But if you dig into anything, you'll find something that's worth knowing, even if it's, "Don't do that."
Yeah. I wonder if it's different because I read those when I was young,
That's fair.
and now that I read these other stories older, I took something out of it, whereas before when I was reading, I was just like, "This is awesome."
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
true.
now I wonder if that's part of it. Because
Well,
like, even when you said that about Lord of the Rings, like, 100%.
yeah.
There's so much to learn. You know what I didn't like about Lord of the Rings? How descriptive it was.
Oh, man, I'm gonna be honest with you. I, finished the, like, original trilogy. I've not read anything
I'm
other than
like,
that.
"Man, okay, I get it, the sun's coming up. We don't
Yeah.
need 6 pages to
Oh,
describe this."
dude. Oh, The Hobbit. I think it was, like, some 80 pages in, and they're talking about a tree, and it was exactly that, where I'm just like, I'm done. I'm done. Like, Jared Tolkien,
Yeah.
you're the best, but you needed an editor, dude. My god.
That's so funny.
Oh, that could have been one book.
Yeah, for real, for real.
I just
Um,
made a lot of people really angry with that one.
yeah, yeah, and canceled.
Yeah, and that's it.
Yeah.
Over Lord of the Rings of all things. Huh, yeah, didn't see that one coming.
Okay, well, we gotta get back to this budget story.
Oh, yeah, man. Wow, totally,
What a
totally.
tangent, eh?
Yeah, what a tangent is right. Okay, so politics. So a couple years ago, I had the opportunity to go to budget here in the province. It was in March, and this was about the time when the teachers were striking. And so the reason I brought up the whole suit thing before was because I'm dressed nice. I'm in a suit. I'm going to a government event. I got invited. Like that's a big deal to me, and I want to present myself as well as I can. And as I'm walking up, there's people yelling at me, like, "You're part of the problem." And I'm like, "I'm just here to observe, man." But,
Mm,
young white guy in a suit walking into the government building, right? Like, oh, he's probably involved somehow. And so that stuck with me. And I got up front and there was, security sitting there. And there was a guy with press credentials and I don't know if it was RCMP, city police, or just the security for the legislature, but they were not letting this man through because he looked like the protesters. And he was like, "No, like seriously, look at my paper." I remember that sticking out to me too. It felt very Orwellian almost. And I mean, it's a protest, I get it and all the rest, but that wasn't the part that really got me. What really drove me nuts, and to this day, like when I think about it, I get this really gross feeling in my stomach, was how the politicians acted during budget. When people are bringing up ideas and they're going back and forth, when we talk about there is no middle ground anymore, I saw that firsthand there. And whether you support the NDP, the SAS party, if you're like me and just vote on issue, well, I care most about these. And this year, this guy's doing that. So that's where my vote goes. Personally, I think it's the right way to do it, but I really don't
right,
care as long as the person votes. That's important. But it doesn't matter what side of the aisle you're on. The fact of the matter is as I was sitting there and the budget's getting presented and they're talking about these teachers who, frankly speaking, teachers have the most important job. Because if the youth isn't educated properly, we don't have a future. There's no country without the next set of people. And if the next set of people are dumb as rocks, we got nothing at the end of the day, right? Um, and, they're just asking for smaller classroom sizes and, things of that nature, which frankly, we've done the numbers. There's tons of studies on this. You can't have your attention split between 30 kids and expect them all to have a fantastic education. Like it's impossible. I have 5 things going on at once at work and I start unraveling a little bit. Now little Johnny's yelling at Sarah and I don't know what's going on there. And, on and on and on. Someone gets left behind and that's not fair. It's not fair to the kids. It's not fair to the teachers and all the rest. But that's a side note. The thing that got me was when this gets brought up, the Sask party starts yelling, let them play," over and over. These are grown adults that people voted for, and they're shouting at the opposition who's trying to go through a line item list about this, that, and the other thing. There's no conversation. It's just screaming. And I'm like, I really thought this was gonna be like, oh, like it was actually the same experience as when I went to university. I thought university was like, oh, I can have the wrong ideas and we're gonna challenge them and we're gonna learn. And I found it was more of the same, where it's like, no, no, just recite what we say, away you go. Like the lack of thinking, the lack of cooperation, the lack of the willingness to understand each other is aggravating. And like I said, man, it left me disgusted. And the interesting thing afterwards, and I guess this is just politics, is I attended an event where the opposition and the other like SAS party and NDP, they're all in the same room. People are shaking hands, talking like, it's another day at work, right? But I I don't know. If I found out one of, the people I voted for was in that room screaming across the aisle, I'd never vote for him again.
Right.
Like, be better than that. It's just awful, and I hate that this is the world we're in, where the loudest person's the one that gets heard, like, it's aggravating, man,
Mhm.
and honestly, I understand why people are fed up with it, and I understand why people are going to more extreme ideas, because if you're feeling left behind or feeling left out, people are humans are naturally tribal focused, right? We've done that forever. Safety in numbers. So when you're alone, but someone promises you, like, "Hey, come with us. We're gonna look after you." Uh, you go. I did youth therapy when I was a kid for the Northeast Health Division, and some of the kids that like I worked adjacent to and everything else, like got involved with gangs. Well, their family wasn't around. They had no parents. They were getting bullied or this or that or whatever their problems were, but they had no one to go to. So they turned to crime. They turned to because there's support. There's a group. It's a brotherhood,
Right.
right? And I get it, man. Like, I really do at the end of the day. I'm not saying it's right, but people gotta remember that, it's no different than addiction. Like when Gary was on a few weeks ago, like, talking about his son, I think it was, like, we don't know where he is or what's happening to him. Does that make his son any less of a person? He's still the son of somebody, might be the father to someone or whatever. Any of these people you see walking around on the streets, right? And people are getting left behind. People are getting forgotten about. And it doesn't have to be as extreme as someone who's homeless or suffering from addictions or anything. It's hell, man. It's the cook at your favorite restaurant. It's the taxi driver who moved here from a different country, doesn't know a single person. It's really anyone and everyone, you know? And that's just so disappointing. And I mean, when you take that, where the general public at large is so disenfranchised and so mistrustful of each other and everything else, I don't know how that doesn't echo into our politics. But as I'm saying this, I like talking to people. I'm the kind of guy that will sit at the bar just if someone sits down and be like, "Hey, man, what's going on? How's your day? Oh, you don't want to talk to me? Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, guy." Like, let's go on to the next one. Like, let's keep it moving. We'll
That's
find somebody. And if I've learned anything, man, there's this doom and gloom online where it's just like everyone sucks, the world sucks, but like it really doesn't. I don't know. I've met a lot of crazy people in my life, but it's like a 1 in 10. It's not like my neighbors are all trying to kill me and like,
yeah, yeah.
"Oh, God forbid if you talk to a stranger." Probably should talk everyone should probably talk to more strangers. You'll
Mhm.
find out that the world's not out to get you, for 1,
Right.
and 2, the other important lesson is no one cares.
Yeah.
No one gives a shit, man. Like, when people when I'm talking to people about training or, going to the gym for the first time, they're like, "Oh, what if people stare?" They're not gonna. And if they do, they're probably not even looking at you. It's probably because the clock's over in that general direction. They're looking at the clock going, "Oh my god, I got another half an hour of this." Because everyone's running their own race. Everyone's got their
They're
own
so
stuff.
focused on making themselves better,
Yep.
they don't care.
No, man, that's it. And I just think that's lost these days, right? Like, and I mean, you can blame so much. Social media, you could blame the news cycle, you could blame politics, you could blame but I think at the end of the day, the blame just lies with us as
Yeah, yeah.
people, you know? Because going back to what I said earlier, I live in an apartment building. I don't know how many people I can name that live there. Actually, there's one guy that I talk to quite often. I have no idea what his name is. And I've known him for like 4 years at this point. That's embarrassing. I gotta talk to him and actually get his name. That's horrible. Oh my god. They're having a realization here. But like, man, if we all just made an effort to just know one more person at the end of the day, I'm not saying be friends with everyone you meet. Some people suck. You're not gonna get along with them. But the next person might be your best friend. You just never
Right.
knew it. Gotta put yourself out there. But anyway, yeah, man, like the politics thing is just so I get it. I understand when people say, "Well, I don't vote," because it's like, what noose do you wanna hang yourself with? They all suck.
It is
Like,
tough. I like what you said though, that you whatever is most important to you, that's who you vote for,
yeah.
who's working the hardest. Because I don't vote, and I never have
Mhm.
because of that. Because I feel like it's just hard for me. Like if I vote for this person, the stuff I don't like
Mhm.
is also my fault. Like I mean I'm okay with this for this.
Mhm.
And I'm like, I'm not okay with this for this.
Yep.
And then same with this side. I'm like okay, this I don't like, but I want it to happen for this to happen.
Yep.
And then like that I don't like.
Yep.
So then it's just like hard for me to justify the good for the bad, I guess. Even though it's gonna
Yeah.
happen anyways. And that's where I'm like, you know what? I'm just not gonna pay attention. And
Ignorance is
whatever
bliss, man.
yeah, and whatever the outcome is, I'll get behind it and figure that out. Like
Yeah.
I'll figure out those rules. It's like
Hmm.
I don't just like I don't like hockey,
Yep.
but like if I had to play hockey, I'll figure it out.
Yep. Yep. I
Like
gotcha.
whatever, and like which is probably not the best way to be, but like it just seems so. I don't know. There's just so much in politics that seems so sad and so like that. People are so angry at everyone, and it's just like another environment that I would like to be in. But like for you, like I could see how you're thinking and the way you are would help, or at least try
Hope.
to,
Yeah.
or at least try to. Obviously, once you get in there,
You
and
never
then you
know
and
what
then you see
happens.
the rules of the game, and
Yeah.
you're like, okay, well, there's nothing I can do, which is a total possibility. But maybe there is something you can do.
Man, do you know what
You
though?
know?
You're not the first person to say that to me, and I actually hate that thought.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, it is a possibility, right? Like you get in there and it's like, no, no, no. You don't know who's signing the checks. You don't know where that money's coming from. There could be somebody who just doesn't like him. Psh, that's it.
Right.
There's a career. Here's a big smear campaign, whatever. You get House of Cards, get pushed in front of a train. Like, who
Right.
knows? Uh, but the
That's not a reason not to.
no, it's not. And one of the things I was taught by my grandfather. Man, I was so lucky to have him in my life. But you don't pass the buck. You never pass the buck. If you screw up, you accept responsibility, you take accountability, you fix the mistake if you can, and if you can't, you ask for help. But you don't shift that onto somebody else. That's not their job. That's not their fault. You don't go, "Ooh, I don't know what happened." And part of that for me, and honestly, it's been to my detriment a lot of my life. Is just not. And I've admittedly taken it to an extreme point. And when you bring up, like, you get into the game and you realize the rules might be fixed and there is nothing you can do. I don't like thinking like that for the simple reason that it puts that thought into the back of your mind. Have you ever gone into the ring and being like, "Oh, I don't know, he's pretty tough. Like, I don't think I'm gonna win." Like, you gotta kill that right off the hop.
Yeah.
Napoleon's whole thing was he would sit in his tent and imagine losing in all these different ways until he couldn't anymore, and then that thought was dead. Now, how are all the ways we're gonna win? Because it's inevitable. And so for me thinking like, "Yeah, I wanna get into politics, I wanna do this." Yeah, the game might be rigged. It might need changes, it might need some shakeups, but I'm not saying I'm the guy to do it. Maybe I am, but
Maybe you are.
maybe if I get in there and I crash and burn horribly, it inspires somebody else to try,
Yeah.
and that inspires someone else to try, and that leads to change. And that's it, man. At the end of the day, like, I don't know, sacrifice is a big thing, you
Yeah.
know? Like, put yourself out there, lose.
Mhm.
You know, my old coach, my first coach, Eric, for boxing used to say, "You don't learn anything from winning. You just learn how to do what you did better."
Right.
You know? But losing, that's where it all comes from.
100%.
So
Yeah, and it's interesting you say that because when I think about how I box,
Mhm.
it's never by the rules.
Oh, yeah?
I'm always like
You're the guy punching the dude in the biceps
I'm
every
just
time he
like
goes?
bumping, I'm
Oh,
like,
yeah.
arm fighting, like,
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't care.
No, I got you, man.
I'm making the rules. And if the ref doesn't see, then these are the rules we're playing by.
That's it though, right?
So it's like
It's funny.
it's funny that you say that, man, because it is a good way to be. I think I think how do I think?
I ask myself that question all the time.
Yeah. It's like I'm just trying to figure out where that comes from. Like I always said too, like if I had to go to war,
Mhm.
unless it's coming to my door, I'm not going.
Right.
You know? It's just like it's not a battle I need to be fighting.
Yeah.
And sometimes I feel like that about politics.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I can see the thought there. I'm gonna cheat. I wanna check something here. See, it's funny because at the start of this, you said, "If I look away and all the rest," and here I am looking away. Uh, but I wanna know, what was the turnout last let's see. That was at the 44th? I think it was. We're not voting this year. It was a couple years ago. Oh my gosh. Oh, wow, 2025 federal election saw the highest voter turnout in the country in the last 2 decades
Mm,
with a whopping 69%. I feel like that's high.
that's high.
That is very high. I thought
That's
it was
high.
way lower than that.
Yeah. I
Uh,
would have said like under 50%.
I thought so too. I don't feel like that stat's right, but
Yeah.
because where I was going with this originally was like, I've talked to a lot of people, especially younger people, and I'm not trying to change anyone's mind. Everyone has reasons for not voting or voting, but if our voter turnout was 100%, I think we'd be better represented because if
Mm,
everyone's voting, then, I mean, kinda statistically speaking, we are all had a say in it. But the only thing that actually really bothers me is when people are like, "Man, this government or that government or this thing I don't like or this thing didn't I don't like." And I'm like, "Well, who'd you vote for this year?" "Oh, I don't vote." I'm like,
yeah.
"You don't get to complain if you don't vote."
Right. That
But that's old
which is
school.
no, but it's a good point. It's like because people say that to me all the time. And I'm like, that's why I try not to complain.
It's
Like
fair, man.
I'm just like that's why I'm good with whatever
Yeah.
happens and I'll figure it out.
Oh,
Even though there's obviously things I don't like,
yeah.
uh, you know, um, one thing one thing I really don't like is like how some parties have like the "I will save you"
Oh, I hate that. The
mentality.
angel mentality, right? "I'm gonna
Yeah,
come down and lift you up."
it's very frustrating to listen to
Yeah.
because they're tricking you.
Oh, 100% they are.
Yeah, and
It
it's like
oh,
manipulation. Like you need to be saved. You're
yep,
so weak that you need us to save you.
yep. Oh, man.
And I
Yeah.
feel like that's how they speak to indigenous people.
Oh, dude.
And it frustrates me,
Mm,
especially now that not that I was raised in my culture, but now that I am out there and seeing it and seeing how powerful indigenous people are, but don't believe they are,
oh,
and that's frustrating for me to listen to. Like
yeah.
you need us to save you.
Oh, man. So I guess I'm not gonna pretend to be an expert on this, but what's the terminology there? It's that imperialistic mindset, right? It's the whole uneducated savage argument where, "Oh, you guys don't know how to use a
Mm,
press machine," or whatever.
right.
It's like, "Oh, let us show you, you're uncultured," and blah, blah, blah. It's ridiculous. But man, that's one thing, like, growing up in Nipawin, I had a lot of friends from, like, Red Earth and Cumberland House and all that, and I saw and got to participate in the culture to a degree, but I'm not of it, so I can't pretend like I know what I'm talking about. I don't, I see what I see and I hear what I hear, corruption with the chiefs and this and that, and, "Oh, there's a couple of tribes in BC fighting over some land because we were here first. Well, actually, you took it from us," and that I don't know, I'm not educated. But the fact that that's even a thing where you need us to fix your problems is crazy. That's
Mhm.
that's insanity to me.
Yeah.
Like, it goes back to not passing the buck. At the end of the day, like, there are problems. And yeah, you can help, but like, uh, has that been something, like, excuse my ignorance here. Does that come up a lot? Like, in conversations with people and all the rest? Like, when you're seeing that from, like, the government perspective, where it's like exactly what you said, that push towards, like, Indigenous affairs getting involved, or the government saying yes or no to certain projects or whatever. Because I genuinely don't know.
And honestly, like, I'm just not involved enough to know.
Fair.
The I've had a lot of conversations,
Yep.
but like the details around it are not. I just don't know that much
Yeah.
about how involved things are, or like how things operate. So it's just like, yeah, it's just hard for me to say.
No, that's fair. I just because I know how many people you talk to, how many people you know. So I
Yeah,
was curious to what you, thought or heard or anything else. That's honestly something, frankly, I should probably spend some time getting to know. I mean, yeah, does it affect me directly all the time? No. Does it affect me indirectly? Absolutely. It affects
yeah,
everyone.
right.
So,
It affects everyone.
yeah, that's crazy, man. But,
Um,
oh, dude, the savior mentality, that's a
yeah,
good point. I hate that.
it's like it's so, I don't know, because like I'm big on like accountability.
Yeah.
Like you can get yourself out of there.
Yep.
You got yourself there.
Yeah.
You can get yourself out. And like obviously some situations are way harder.
Yeah.
In some situations, you started at a worse starting
Yep.
point. For whatever reason. But like, but you need to believe you can.
Yeah.
And if you believe someone needs to save you, that's not gonna help the
Yeah,
situation.
man.
Because as soon as they stop saving you, now you're back to where you were anyways.
100%.
So it's just like it's tough for me to hear. And it's tough because people believe it. Like people believe they don't have what it takes.
Yep.
And all I want to do is like I try and talk to people like they can do anything.
Yeah.
They are the strongest version of themselves. And sometimes it's like I can see what I'm saying to them is like they don't believe it
Yep.
for a second.
Yep.
I'm not you.
Oh,
No,
yeah,
friend.
but that's the best part, you're
You should
not
be.
me.
No,
Oh, yeah.
just kidding.
We went 2 different angles there.
Just kidding.
Oh, oh, man. See, personally, I don't know if there could be another one of me. It would be like a Highlander situation. We'd have to hunt each other down. One of us would have to
Like,
die.
oh, no.
Yeah, there can only be one, brother.
Uh,
No, but that's such a good point, man. Like, I've said it a few times, like, my superpower has been my indomitable will, which is a very fancy way to say that I really don't know when to quit, for the better or worse, depending on the situation, depending on who you ask.
mhm.
And, like I said, it has gotten me into a lot of trouble because sometimes you just gotta throw in the towel,
Yeah, yeah,
you
yeah.
know? And that's actually been a big thing recently for myself, like getting out of this, situation I was in, and being like, "Man, like, I gave up. I quit. Like, oh, I could have made things better. I could have changed it. I could have done this different. I could have," but accepting the fact that I there was nothing I could have done. There's no change that I didn't try, and there's a difference between giving up and quitting,
Right.
because sometimes, man, like last night we were doing pad work. I don't have wraps right now, so I've been using old school bag gloves, just toughing the hands up, just well, because coach is like, "We're getting new wraps in," and I'm like, "Hey, are they in yet? Because I would like to wrap my hands."
Bleeding.
Yeah. Don't ask about the skin on the
Yeah.
bags. It's mine. It's calluses, right? Real tough. Um, but like sitting there at the end of it and we're doing pad work and it's like a 5 minute death drill, right? Straights, body hooks, head hooks to the abs. And it's getting to the point where it's like I can't unflex my hands. I went home and just shoved them in a bucket of ice. And the only thing I could think to myself was, that was really stupid. You should have called that probably 20 minutes earlier than you did. But I did it, whatever, got to live with the consequences. And, some people just don't have that where it's not like, oh, yeah, 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 I can do it. I can do it. I can do it. And I don't know, man. Like, it's almost a soft skill, like I say charisma can be learned. Lots of things can be learned, but some things, man, I don't know. I'm gonna be thinking about that one for a while because there really are. I've met lots of people like that where it's just, this is gonna sound so negative, but they just don't. I don't know if it's because they don't care, they don't believe, or what it is. Something inside of them is just content. Like it's like I don't need to try. This is fine, you know. And I've talked about this a bit, but this is like my negative self-talk that I've wrestled with for years that I'm always like, "No, it's actually a good thing." We talk about, like, anger and hate, and I'm like, "Man, there's no one in this world I hate more than myself." Because at the end of the day, I don't like who I am because I could be better, and that is not a good thing to think. Don't do that. That's why I go to therapy, kids. But in all seriousness,
It's like, ooh.
yeah, that's a hot take. But in all seriousness, that like, and I'm not talking like I wake up in the morning, I'm like, oh, you piece of shit. But it's just,
You're ugly.
yeah, yeah. Well, a buddy of mine had a good line. You can't say anything to me that I haven't said 3 inches away from a mirror. And I'm like, that's intense. Like, yeah, exactly. But that hate, like when I talk about that, everyone jumps to like, oh God, like you really don't like you? No, that's why I wear a suit. I look in the mirror, I'm like, nice. But when I do things I'm not proud of, when I don't push, when I don't, it kind of bubbles up a little bit. It's not like that overwhelming, like, oh, you piece of shit. It's just like, you could do better.
Mm.
And hate might be a strong word, but over all these years, I haven't found anything else, any other word to describe it because it's just that innate push that like, no, maybe it's the thing that holds me accountable because at the end of the day, like I did something really stupid. There was a girl I was seeing for a little bit, hit it off. Life was good. We ended up going out and having some drinks and I got way too drunk. I made an ass out of myself. Dumb. And at the end of the day, I sent an apology. An apology, in my opinion, is never for the other person. It's for yourself. Let's be honest. When you're saying sorry, you're trying to, get that, oh, hey, it's okay to ease your conscience because you did something wrong. But to me, it's just that level of accountability, right? Where it's like, no, no, I screwed up. This is my fault.
Mhm.
I don't know if anything good's going to come of it. Nothing did come out of it. It did not go well because, again, I made an ass out of myself. But at the end of the day, if I didn't do that, that voice, that little piece of hate that I carry around with me all the time, I wouldn't let it go, you know? And that's just me personally. Those negative things that I think everyone carries, whether it be addiction, whether it be negative self-talk, like myself, that like, oh, you could be better. Oh, you gave up. Channel that into something productive. Anger is a good one, especially for men. A lot of guys I know, angry all the time. Comes out in road rage, bar fights, whatever bullshit that strikes the person's fancy at that time. I also know people that go into their garage and they have a giant, like tapestry set up and they're working on a painting and like, I'm not gonna pretend it's super nice art, but it's art. It's a way of
Right.
getting it out. And I say that and this guy's gonna be in an art gallery and I'm gonna look like a real asshole. You know who you are. But it's funny, man. Like the negatives, like addiction. Again, like that's something I've dealt with in my life. I know people who are struggling with it. I think it's impossible to get away from these days. I mean, like, look at sports betting. Like, it's just normal now. I'm watching a hockey game and it's just here's ad after ad for different sports betting sites. That's crazy. Like, you can just do that. But just taking that negative and turning it into something positive. Like, if you're going to be addicted to something, be addicted to going to the gym. Maybe I don't know. That's also bad. There's got to be a middle
Sometimes
ground.
it can be bad, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. see, this goes back to I'm not really afraid of being wrong because
Yeah.
this is definitely a tangent, but man, it's just
The thing with addiction is you have to replace the addiction with another addiction
holy shit, dude. Yes, man.
because it
Oh,
you don't just all of a sudden not become an addict.
no, you don't. That's something I'm learning, man. It's funny because like my therapist says it all the time. Like the hardest thing to not do, or the hardest thing to do, is to do nothing.
Mm,
Because like just quit drinking. All you
yeah,
have to do is not drink. Just don't do the thing. For people who aren't addicted to drinking or don't drink very much, that sounds pretty easy. "Oh, I just won't drink on Saturday." It isn't easy.
right.
Just don't smoke your cigarettes. Don't
Mhm.
whatever the vice is. Man, yeah, like you said, if you don't replace it, like, it can eat you up. And then on top of that too, when you inevitably fail, because like, I think AA talks about this a fair bit. I really don't know. I'm not a part of it or anything, but, browse the material. Relapse is a part of recovery. You're gonna screw up. Like, I've talked to people and it's like, yeah, I'm gonna stop drinking, I'm gonna stop smoking, I'm gonna stop smoking weed, and I'm pile, 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 pile. Dude, it's not gonna work. You can't take the world on all at once and expect good things to come out of it.
It's like one extreme to another.
Yeah,
Think
exactly.
it's gonna go well.
Yeah. Like maybe stop smoking, and while you're stop smoking, maybe go to the gym. Or like anytime you think you need a cigarette, do 10 push-ups. I don't know.
Right,
Like let's
right.
start small, manageable goals, right? Um, or like go totally insane and try and do everything at once and see if that works for you. I don't
Yeah,
know.
and some people it does.
Yeah, exactly. People are confusing.
If they were, what do you think we're at right now?
Uh, hour 15.
Yeah, man, that's pretty good. 16.
No shit!
Yeah, man.
Wild.
I wanted to ask you a couple things
Okay,
before we wrap it up.
and do me a favor because I know you're gonna find this section. Maybe take that part out about, that giant ramble about that girl and everything, because that was insane and totally off topic and does not paint me very well. I thought I was going places with that, and after I was like, "What the hell am I talking about?" Oh, I knew that was gonna happen. I literally on the drive here, I was like, "Whatever you do, do not go on an insane tangent." It happened.
No, your tangents are good, man.
Oh, I appreciate it.
Um,
I'm gonna just top up this coffee quick and fire
sure.
away. Okay,
Yeah, yeah.
there. We got like a nice little spot.
That's so funny,
Oh,
man.
dude, yeah.
I think it was a good tangent though because you were just talking about apologizing and
Yeah,
taking
man.
accountability.
And
It's a good tangent.
it's funny too, because like at the end of the day, I like to think I'm a good speaker.
Mhm.
I like talking to people. But man, sometimes actually, do you know what? The best way I can put this is learning to talk about my emotions over
Mm.
the past little while, where, especially, with my ex, and I've realized now, not just my recent ex, but all the relationships I've had in my life where unless they were like my best friend, from growing up that I to this day, we still talk daily, or my immediate family, I notice, like, we can do this back and forth pretty quick, but as soon as you ask me, like, "Hey, like, you feeling alright?" I slow down so much, and it's been something I'm so conscious of where I literally have to feel the words out because for me, and I'm sure a lot of people are like this, I'm not gonna pretend I know, but maybe it's the ADHD, but a lot of times when I'm talking, it's like I don't even know what the next thing I'm gonna say is. But with emotions, because they're so charged and they can really change the trajectory of a conversation or relationship or anything, like especially as a man, if you're angry and
Mm.
you're like, "I'm upset," and it's like walking this tightrope because I don't want you to think like I'm gonna yell or
Yeah,
be
yeah.
upset with you or anything, but I still need to honor that feeling, and it's such a shitty dynamic, to be blunt. Like,
Mm.
we just aren't educated on it, and I mean, I think we're in a good spot because I think based on all the men I know, based on all the things I've done, based on all these charities, I'm trying to get my little sticky fingers in and all the rest. It seems like if we can keep this trajectory up, that might die with this generation. Or at least we might put a good dent in it. And then the next up, they might finish it off. Because, like, that old thought, like, men don't cry. Fuck, man. I had a great cry the other night. I feel awesome after. Did not feel good in the moment though,
Yeah.
like, but just being able to do that, being able to be mad, being able to be sad, like, just feel things. But anyway,
What one thing I noticed since doing this podcast is how slow I talk
really.
and how much I'm fine with pausing
Oh,
and thinking.
yep.
And sometimes it's like 30 seconds where like nothing is said and I'm just thinking because like I've never been asked that before or I've never had that cross my mind before. So I just want to like feel it and see like what do I actually think of that. But then I really appreciate people who can talk really fast and get their thoughts and ideas out quickly.
Mm,
Cause I noticed that too. Cause I feel like I talk so slow. And then the people that can just like rattle
just
it off,
go.
and I'm like, man, your mind must work fast.
It's not a good thing.
Not always,
No, not always.
but
But
sometimes
that's
maybe.
true. That is true. I shouldn't just jump to that.
I know lots of people are pretty uncomfortable with pauses because even in normal conversations, when I'm talking, they'll ask me something and I won't answer.
Mhm.
And then they'll like start moving on. And
Oh,
I'm like,
yeah.
whoa,
Yeah.
no,
I'm
hold on.
thinking.
I'm actually thinking. I'm not stupid.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just
No, I
like
hear you, man.
I just want to say it properly.
Yeah.
And I noticed that a lot. People don't like pauses. It's like they get awkward. And like because I'm also like a very eye contact person.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying anything, but I'm looking you in your eyes.
And we're just sitting here doing the.
Yeah.
It's funny you say that though, because I'm a big eye contact person myself, and typically when I look away like I'm doing right now, it's because I'm trying to get ahead of the train of thoughts. Because
Yeah.
when I'm looking at somebody, I get caught up in it, and like honestly, man, it's one of the things I've always appreciated about you. Because man, there's a lot of people here who can't look somebody in the eye,
Yeah.
and this is dumb, but I blame my grandfather for this. There's like the three things a man has to be able to do. You got to look a guy in the eyes. You got to be able to shake a hand. Man, that little dainty shake. I'm always just like, "You gotta fix that, brother." Oh, yeah, exactly. Yeah, the little, like, I'm like, "What is happening here?" Just go, like, done, easy. And yeah, take accountability for your actions. You do those 3 things, you're way ahead of most people, but it's really old school at the end of the
Yeah.
day.
It's good though.
Yeah.
Okay. The first question I have
Shoot.
is how do you like therapy?
Oh,
So
man.
if somebody who's never been to it
Mhm,
came and asked you about it,
mhm.
what would you say to them?
The first thing I would say on the note of therapy is your first therapist is probably not gonna be the right one, and don't be discouraged by that.
Mm,
I've been through 5 therapists. I've been seeing this one now for 3 years, and our rapport is fantastic.
mm,
Um, but it takes time. In some cases, it was just like "Ooh, this doesn't work." Like, "I don't like the way you talk to me. I don't like the way that this is working, the solutions that are being presented. I don't like" whatever it is. And it's okay to fire your therapist and be like, "Hey, you know what? I'm good." And at the end of the day, depending on the nature of that relationship, how long you've been seeing them for and all the rest, you go to like 2 sessions and you're like, "This isn't for me," just don't book another one. But if it's been like a year or 2, because the other thing that I've noticed that can happen is you grow out of a therapist where, it's like, "Okay, like, I feel like I've learned all I can from you." And maybe you need CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy. Maybe you need to focus on addictions counseling. Maybe whatever it is to deal with your current situation. And don't let that discourage you. That's the biggest thing I would try to tell people is, try it and don't stop right away. It's like if you go to sing karaoke and you absolutely bomb the first time, don't not sing again. It sucked the first time, maybe the second time will be better. If you do it, a couple of times, you're like, "I hate this." Okay, maybe
go home
explore
and
some
stay
other
there.
options. Yeah, exactly. Just don't just give up. Just quit. And the other thing too that I would say to if someone came up to me and they were like, "Hey, like I'm thinking about therapy. Like what should I know?" Don't quit. Realize that your first therapist might not be the right one. It might take a couple tries. And thirdly, especially with talk therapy, it only works if you believe it's gonna work and you're open and honest. Um,
Mm.
that was a big thing for me starting off because, like, man, especially as a guy, right? It's like, I gotta kinda tuck some of this in, and I'd leave sessions and be like, "I don't feel any better." Well, it's because I didn't actually talk about what was bugging me, what was on my mind, because I was worried, like, for me, it's like, I don't wanna put that on because I don't know if it's a hero's complex or what, right? Where it's like, "Oh, I have to carry this burden." You're literally paying this person 100 to $200 an hour, or whatever you're paying them, to be that independent third party. And frankly speaking, the last bit is that's your time. And I think a lot of people forget that too. Like when you go in there and you have like a work problem and, for the last 2 weeks, maybe you were talking about relationships, something be like, "Do you know what? I know we were working on this, but this is an issue. We need to talk about this today." Don't be afraid to direct because you are as the client. This is about your healing. This is about your journey. So take it, take control. But I guess, yeah, like in short, don't be worried about the first one. Hey, maybe you get lucky. Maybe they are. Maybe it's not. Be open and honest, and yeah, just keep trying. And also too that not everything is talk therapy. There's lots of other options out there,
Right.
animal therapy, CBT, all the rest, and they're extremely effective for different situations. So, but
That's awesome, man.
yeah.
Um, and then the last two questions, I'll just ask them both.
Mhm.
Um, Kind of bringing this to a circle from the beginning.
Yep.
What would your 8-year-old say to you, and what would your 80-year-old say to you?
Oh, man. I was worried you were gonna ask me something like this. Congrats, you did something not many people can do. You made me stop and think.
Gotcha.
Yeah, yeah, gotcha, bitch. Um, oh, man. See, that's so on the note of therapy, one thing I will say right off the hop, that question immediately made me feel sad, and I don't know why, because up until this point, I think 80-year-old me would be looking back and go, "Wow, like, man, that was a real tough period. That sucked, but this was the start of things." That I think maybe that's where that sadness comes from because over the past 3 months, like, my life has changed so dramatically. I lost somebody who was really close to me. We went our separate ways, and as part of that, I lost some friends. I it was pretty dramatic. And also as part of that, I've been alone, and not lonely, but just alone, solitude. And because of that, I've been able to reincorporate some things. And I think looking at that 8-year-old in me, um, would go, "I'm happy to see you having fun again." And I think the 80-year-old in me is also happy to see that we're back on the path, you know?
Mm,
And the biggest lesson I've taken away over the past little while, and I'm sure you get this, talking to all sorts of people and learning all sorts of lessons and all the rest. There's so many sayings that are like, "Oh, yeah, okay, grandpa," but, like, they've been said time and time again for hundreds of years for a reason. Life is not a straight line. Like, "Yeah, okay, you saw that on somebody's bathroom wall," but it's a damn good point.
mhm,
You asked me 6 months ago, "What were your future plans?" A family, kids. Now, I don't really know yet, and I'm excited to find out. And I think that's where I'm at. And at the end of the day, that legacy is important, you know? Like tomorrow, if I I'll make it a little more extreme. Tonight, if I get in the car, go down the street and get hit by a bus, and that's it. Would I be happy with how things played out? Yeah. Could they have been better? Yeah. You can't be upset with working with the information you have, you know?
mhm,
And, yeah, I think that's a good spot. I don't know, man. Regret's the one thing that I'm trying to really maneuver around in my life. Trying to make sure when the time finally comes that I'm not sitting there going, "Oh, I should have asked that girl out. Oh
mhm,
man, I should have said yes to dance classes." Or, "Oh, I should have really taken that trip," or whatever it was. You can't do everything in life. But if you feel like you should, you probably should, you know? And also, don't be afraid to circle back to it is the thing that I keep reminding myself. Like boxing, man, I've been boxing since I was 14, and I stopped for, like, the past 3 years, and now this year, like, I'm 2 weeks into it now, doing a little bit of self-training back in the gym, and it's just like, this is it, like, this is the time, right?
Mm.
And I guess tomorrow's never promised, so, you gotta just be okay with what's happening today? Thought I had something with, that boxing angle, but it really wasn't coming to me. I don't know. Oh, it was so wise and stoic.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Okay, well, I think we'll call it there, man. But uh, this was awesome, man.
Yeah, man.
Super easy, super like. I feel like this is how all of our conversations are. Just simple, nice. We throw ideas around.
Yeah.
Like you're easy to talk to. Um, yeah, man. I'm glad we met
Oh, man.
because you're definitely a benefit to my life. So
I appreciate
um,
that, thank you.
yeah, man. Thanks for coming.
Can I ask you a question quick?
Nope. Just kidding.
Oh, that probably looked great on camera. It probably just my eyes just popped out of my head. I was like, "Oh, alright." I guess I got 2. Um, if you were ever gonna recommend a book, which is one book to anybody, what would it be? Love that question.
Yeah, there's probably 2
Mhm.
for different reasons. Uh, One and like one of my all-time favorite books is The Richest Man in Babylon,
Oh, yeah.
just because I feel like people just do not understand money, and
That's a
it's
very
so
good point.
essential here just to like have a concept of what money is, what it can do,
Oh,
how it
100%.
should be used, what the tool of money actually is.
Yep.
And I think people don't understand it. And it's a lot easier than people think it is. And that book is like,
And it's short
it's short,
and
to the
full of
point.
information.
It's just like
Yep.
all the lessons are like, here's the lesson.
Yep.
Here's
And
the next
boom, boom,
lesson.
boom.
Here's the next lesson. It's not like Lord of the
Yeah. See, the difference is that guy hired an editor.
Yeah.
I will say my only problem with that book is it's so dense in such a short amount of time. I've had to read it like 3, 4 times, and every time I read it, I pick up something new just
Yeah.
because it's so much.
It is a lot.
But
Yeah. It is so much. And how it's written would throw people off as well.
that's
I
true.
think a little bit. Um
Oh, yeah. I gotta read that again.
and then um my second one is a tie because it's like in the same
Mhm.
series. The series of Ryan Holiday books,
Okay.
and the 2 that I would recommend are Ego is the Enemy
Mhm.
and Obstacle is the Way.
Mhm.
They're 2 of the best books I've ever read, I think,
Really?
just for like I think ego stops people,
Mhm.
and I think ego, it gets a bad rap.
Mhm.
I think it's not as bad as people think it is, but it's bad if you don't understand how your ego operates. And I
Mm.
think there's a way to like have a balance with your ego. And you
Yep.
can understand it, like and that book talks about that um like the bad parts of ego,
Mhm.
that why you're stopping, why you're, like even with boxing, like anyone will spar in the gym,
Yeah.
but you put a crowd around,
Oh, yeah.
and now all of a sudden you're not like you get beat up every day, every
Yep.
sparring day, you get your ass kicked by someone,
Yep.
and it's fine. But you put a crowd, now all of a sudden you won't do it.
Yeah.
And it's like that's ego, right?
That's a good point.
And then obstacle is the way. People think hard is bad, but if you don't have obstacles, you're not going the right way.
Yeah.
So you need to build a relationship with hard, because that means you're moving in the right direction.
Yep.
And if you can get that to switch in your mind, you can do anything.
100%.
Because the more obstacles, the more you're doing.
Yep.
The more people you're helping, the more lives you're saving, the more whatever
The
your goal
impact,
is, the
right?
more impact you're leaving. So you want obstacles. Obstacles are good.
'Cause there's, this expression, and it's what is it? "A ship is safest in harbor," but that's not what ships are for.
Exactly.
That's
That's exactly it.
a good point.
Yeah.
Um, and the other one I wanted to ask you is, do you know any poems?
Do I know any poems?
Oh,
Not off by heart.
that's it's another old man thing. I was told forever and a day ago. It's like every man should know a poem. It's just like, you can't be this is old school too, but what I might get this phrasing wrong a little bit, but it's like, a gentleman, right? It's not the um what's the how do you say this? It's not the lack of the capability of committing, violence and harm. It's the ability to, but choosing not to.
Mm,
You're not gentle if you just can't be bad.
right.
You're gentle if you can, but choose not to. It's like bravery. Bravery isn't not being scared. It's being scared and doing it anyway. That's bravery.
Yeah.
You know, because if you're not scared and it's stupid, you're actually just stupid.
Yeah. Or you're just doing it.
Or you're just doing it. Yeah, exactly. Like, I don't know. Some people you watch those like Red Bull things, right? Where they're jumping off of cliffs and, shooting a gap through a mountain. They're like, yeah, it was all right. That guy's not brave. He's crazy. They're different things, man. They're totally different. I mean, I'm painting with a pretty broad brush on that, but you know what?
I do know what you
Yeah.
mean.
So,
And I feel like we should end this with a poem.
oh God. Yeah, my turn. Okay. The poem I know and I've known forever is Invictus. Uh, and it's always been my go-to before really hard things, like, even, like, sparring or, like, I'm making a drive through a blizzard, and it's like, almost what do you call that? Something you say over and over and over, like affirmation, I guess.
Try.
Mantra, that's what I was trying to get to. Um, but the poem goes, "Out of the night that covers me, black as the pit from pole to pole, I thank whatever gods might be for my unconquerable soul. In the fell clutch of circumstance, I have not winced nor cried aloud. Under the fell bludgeonings of chance, my head is bloodied, but unbowed. Beyond this place of wrath and tears looms but the horror of the shade, and yet the menace of the years finds and shall find me unafraid. Matters not how strait the gate, nor charged with punishments the scroll. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul."
Mm.
And that's, man, that stuck with me forever. There's so
That
many
was
good
good, man. That gave
poems,
me
but
goosebumps. That was good.
I've said that one a lot, man. That's gotten me out of bed a few times, but
Good, man.
yeah, man, poetry is just, I don't know, there's something beautiful about it. Ip's a great one. Plums, so sweet, so cold, so delicious. I eat them. Like, simple, you know, but I don't know. English, just language is the best.
Yeah, man.
Anyway, but yeah, that was great talking to you,
That was
buddy.
good, man. That was a good chat, man.
That was a great
I
chat.
really enjoyed that.
Mm.
Um,
Anytime, man. This is fun.
yeah.
Next time I'll drink less coffee. Be a little more structured.
Go off the rails so much.
Yeah. I think,
Hey,
yeah, we got probably 40 minutes in before we actually circled back to the
yeah,
talking
man.
budget
It's all
meeting.
right. That's what happens.
That's
Cool.
true.
Okay, well, let's wrap it up.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks for coming, man.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.